Alrighty, so environment and memory. Again, only 2 lessons, that's all the time we have for on the course. Today we're looking at adverse childhood experiences. And we've reviewed this in criminology. And so here we're looking at how, there we saw how it could affect the brain and the amygdala, and here we're looking at how it can affect memory, and then we'll see how they can affect the hippocampus. So ACEs and memory, really pretty simple, straightforward explanation. Okay, so here we're actually going to look at the opposite. Could it be advantageous to forget traumatic events, and see if students could think about why? And the idea being that, well, perhaps you might be too scared to do anything. You might be too scared to go out into the world. You might be shut off. Then you're not going to hunt and gather and find food and survive. And it's probably actually better off for you in your own well-being to not remember everything traumatic that happened to you. Okay. All right, so we're looking at adverse childhood experiences. These are traumatic experiences, and in the first big study they identified 10. Just a simple exercise. Can students guess what they might have been? And I gave them the first one, which would be pretty hard to guess, having a close family member go to prison. Can they think of the other 10? And then here we chalk and talk. These are the original 10. I think it's kind of really helpful. Again, love the rule of 3s. If they can think of the, instead of trying to remember all 10, and they don't need to list all 10 in an exam essay, but just remember the 3 general categories: abuse, neglect, and family dysfunction. That would be helpful. Now, if they want, they could go and do their ACE score, and if they'd prefer not to, they could just read the textbook instead. This is the chance where I always explain most people have at least 1 or 2 ACEs. I myself had a couple, with divorce at least being a definite one, and a couple of others years with substance abuse perhaps, but anyway. Alright, are ACEs good for us? This is an interesting discussion. Do they think it would be good to have a bit of a childhood trauma to overcome and create resilience, or do you think it would be bad? Think, pair, share. We look at this very, very simple study that shows the real simple correlation, right? The more ACEs you had, the worse your memories were, especially if it was abuse or neglect type ACEs. Okay, so a simple, very simple study for students to comprehend ACEs and memory. So I was really thinking about your weaker students and putting this one in the textbook, where that's just a nice simple effect. But chalk here, the end-back task is really hard to do, and it's very hard to explain. And I found a good website where they could give it a go. So they could try that. That's the task that they used in the experiment, in the study I should say, and also it just helps to review the concept of working memory. Alright, time for notes. Is it just me, or I used to find 15-minute was like a really good, that was the max I could show a video for, and now I'm finding 8 minutes is the most I can show a video for, which is why I'm tending to put these longer videos, and the ones that aren't directly relevant to what we're doing but are kind of interesting and should be watched, I feel like, in this course. Good chance to do that at home. Right, coming up next, ACEs and the hippocampus, and you'll probably see, like the last one, this is where we add one more detail, and actually we've added no real new content knowledge here except for what an ACE is, but we've already done that in the course, and here we're going to see ACEs affect memory because they damage the hippocampus.